Tonight at 6, severe weather Sunday. A deadly storm system headed our way. The timing to prepare as communities across the South battle the aftermath of damaging conditions.
Overnight going into Sunday morning will be into the 50s, relatively mild, but highs as we go in towards your Sunday, getting up into the 60s and 70s.
A woman fatally stabbed in Maryland, where authorities say she suffered several injuries, and the condition of the suspect. Shutdown avoided. The president just signed a spending bill into law to prevent government services from stopping. But how $1 billion in crucial D.C. funding is still up in the air. And grocery savings, checking prices at essential supermarkets here at home. What we found to help you out.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. We begin tonight with breaking news. President Trump may soon ramp up deportation efforts, now invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to speed up mass deportations of undocumented migrants. Now, this authority allows presidents broad leeway and executive power to crack down on undocumented migrants. The last time this act was used was World War II, when Japanese Americans were placed into internment camps. The White House maintains its use is justified, saying the Venezuelan gang known as Tren de Aragua has invaded the U.S., calling it a hostile force acting at the behest of Venezuela's government. Stay on top of that one. All right, more local news tonight in Prince George's County. Police say that a woman was killed after being stabbed several times this morning in Oxon Hill. Officials tell us this happened around 10 on Kennebec Street near Owens Road. The woman died on the scene. Police believe this to be a domestic, isolated incident, possibly involving what they call an emotionally disturbed person. Authorities say everybody has been identified, although no names have been shared at this hour. We've got new details in the district. A firefighter was rescued after falling through a floor while responding to a row home. It's happened in Northeast this morning on 16th Street. Heavy smoke billowing from that row home. Now, this is also near the Brentwood Rec Center. Get this, miraculously, the firefighter who fell through the floor is reportedly uninjured. Over 100 first responders were sent there, and it took 2 hours to get that fire under control. No other injuries were reported. We're told nobody was inside of the house at the time that fire broke out. Meantime, firefighters in Maryland are sharing concerns over FEMA canceling classes for the National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, Maryland. Earlier this week, FEMA abruptly canceled those classes at the facility as the federal government continues to find spending cuts. The president of the Allegheny and Garrett County Volunteer Fire Rescue Association sending a letter to President Trump saying, quote, "While we understand the administration's goal of improving efficiency, however, halting these critical programs jeopardizes the safety of our first responders and the communities they serve." All right, in Virginia, Arlington residents gathered today to rally against the recent ICE arrests made in the county. Take a listen. Organizers and residents attended the county's board meeting today. They asked lawmakers to remove what they say is a loophole in the county's trust policy, which allows local police to work with ICE agents. And we spoke with people there about the message that they're sending.
I mean, what we want to see is Arlington County board members taking immediate action to expand protections under the county policy, right? Removing Section 7 of what they call the Trust Act, which is the loophole that allows the police department to keep collaborating with ICE. And they should also expand that to also protect people from Virginia State Police.
Rally organizers said the group will not back down until ICE agents are out of Arlington. All right, time is 6:04. We are tracking severe weather on the way tomorrow. The same system that hit parts of the Midwest and South overnight, causing severe damage. This video in Arkansas, at least 17 people are reportedly dead after the storm brought violent tornadoes and whipping winds. Meteorologist Derek Bowen is tracking the timing of when this storm is going to hit right here at home. Derek, what can you tell us?
As we head in towards Sunday, we have, of course, that opportunity to see some strong to severe storms about the area. You can see that line of showers and storms coming in to the region in towards the afternoon, in towards the evening time as well. We're hoping to get everything out of here by the time the sun sets, at least the most active part of the system, but we could still see some lingering showers as we head into the early morning hours for your day Monday. All in all, looks like we could see some good bit of rain, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches in some of the heaviest downpours, which would be great, especially given our rain deficit. Our rain deficit right now is about a ½ an inch or so. Some areas are up to an inch in some locations. So the rain for tomorrow would be good, but unfortunately it may come all at one time. Another chance of rain comes in on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on that for you, but we're going to be watching out for this rain, especially coming for your Sunday and early Monday.
To avert a government shutdown, the Senate cleared the final hurdle just last night. 10 Democrats joining Republicans in last night's vote. Once President Trump signed the legislation, it will fund the government for 6 months. The Senate also passed a proposal to save D.C. from massive cuts, but that goes back to the House. If the House fails to approve that bill, D.C. will lose more than $1 billion from its current operating budget. That cut would cause huge cuts for public safety, transit, schools. Members of Congress reacting to the Senate passing that bill.
The issue here is just allowing the D.C. government to proceed to spend its own tax revenues.
You know, we all want, and as the president wants our nation's capital to be the safest, cleanest, most welcoming city.
All this bill does is to continue to ensure that D.C. receives what it is owed.
Though the Senate approved D.C.'s funding, again, it goes back to the House, but they're in recess until Monday the 24th. It's not clear when the House could consider the D.C. funding bill or if it will pass at all. All right, meantime, Mayor Bowser's reacting to the Senate passing that bill, saying, quote, approval is a major first step as we continue working with the House of Representatives on final passage to ensure critical services provided in the nation's capital. All right, following up on January's mid-air collision over the Potomac River, the FAA will now permanently ban helicopters from flying the same route near Reagan National. That crash killed all 67 people on the Army helicopter and American Airlines jet. Federal investigators say the helicopter path had a string of near misses in recent years, showing it posed an intolerable risk, their words. We talked to a former pilot and transportation analyst about the ban of helicopters on that route. They say they support the change, but believes more needs to be done.
The problem is that we have, we're putting more and more flights going into DCA. We're taking controllers out of the tower. We're not staffing the tower to its maximum level. You put those into the mix and it becomes a real issue.
The FAA order will allow a few exceptions for presidential flights, law enforcement, life-saving missions. For example, the FAA says that it will continue to study other airports that have different aircraft sharing the same airspace, including at BWI. 6:08, for the first time, we are hearing from first responders who braved the icy Potomac River that night. They came from across the region, including Prince George's County. Our Randy Bass has more as they share what it was like to work under those mentally and physically difficult conditions.
Yes, today officers with the department's underwater rescue team, Marine unit and aviation unit all recognized for their courage and bravery, even taking a few moments to recall what happened that very scary January evening.
6 weeks after the crash, that horrific scene and those early phone calls still incredibly fresh in the mind of Deputy Chief Katina Gomez.
They're like, Chief, at this point, there's no survivors.
Prince George's County police officers were among the crews who quickly realized all 67 people on board that American Airlines jet and the Black Hawk helicopter had been killed in the crash. What followed, described as absolutely harrowing.
It's surreal. It doesn't feel real, if I may say that. I couldn't even imagine it. I can't even put it into words, honestly, the things that I saw. I just couldn't believe it myself. And
A rescue effort turned recovery operation in an icy, frozen Potomac River surrounded by swirls of jet fuel and fumes.
We never felt the cold. We never felt the wet. We never said very much to each other. We just got the job done.
And today, now a month and a half after the crash,
and I think we should recognize them. Can we recognize them?
honored by their department for their heroic actions.
Just ordinary people doing extraordinary things, and we call them heroes.
Heroes like Jeremy Jordan. His assignment, bringing those victims back to shore.
It was about 14 hours that we were out on the water. The events that we went through, it still lives in my mind every day.
Coping with very real, raw emotions, but Jordan says he's grateful through it all.
I think we're better people because of it, and we're just happy that we were able to bring closure to the families.
And the Prince George's County Police Department says it has offered mental health help and support to its officers in the wake of that midair collision. At Reagan National Airport, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Randy. Happening today, a series of protests across the country, including in DC, calling out Tesla and CEO Elon Musk. People there in Georgetown, they're upset over Musk's widespread handling of federal job firings, U.S. agency cuts from the Doge Group. One of the protesters shared sharp words for the billionaire.
Elon Musk, I don't think you're as smart as you think you are. I think that your businesses are failing, and I think that you don't know how the government works, and to come in and try to destroy something that you don't know how it works, you're a failure.
Protests today across the country came a day after U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Tesla vandals would be investigated after some people targeted Tesla dealerships and cars. New tonight, great news for two astronauts who have been stuck in the International Space Station for 9 months. A SpaceX replacement crew to help bring them back arrives tonight.
3, 2, 1. Ignition and
Liftoff last night. Once the astronauts arrive, Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams will be able to return home. They were initially on an 8-day mission last summer, but a problem with their space capsule delayed their return to Earth. They've been on the ISS for 9 months. SpaceX expects the pair to come back home next week. This crew includes 4 astronauts who are arriving, 2 Americans, plus 1 from Japan, another from Russia. The crew is expected to dock tonight at 11:30.